Just a quick heads up, this video is not a financial advice. It's created purely for informational and educational purposes to empower you with knowledge and information. Before making any investment moves, it's smart to get proper financial guidance. And guess what? GBOSHE FX don't just share content. He coach, guide, and support you on your journey to smarter investing. Let's delve to the weekly pre-market outlook.
Good, excellent, prolific traders, trust we are all doing wonderful. So a new week, a new opportunity, new possibilities, new outcome, right here. So as we normally do our weekly analysis, our weekly cash print analysis. So let's get to work, guys. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Yeah, so this was our outlook on gold. So we're watching for market to react at this good supply zone, and market finally did. But what happened? Instead of reacting at this zone, there was a breakout. So let's see what we did. At this point, we were expecting this market to have a reaction. At this point, it went down here, and at this point there was this breakout level here. So we took this trade somewhere here, and our SL was above here. Yeah. So, but what happened was the market kicked us. This is one of those things we experienced. So this was losing day. So what does it indicate? It indicates that gold is strong. Gold is strong, and it is pulling to the upside. So now we delete this. So you can see that this first TP was hit first of all. So based on the fact that it was hit, maybe market used this as a good demand zone to buy back up. Yeah, and so most times scenario like this will happen. So I'll go ahead and delete all of this, and we'll look at the possible opportunities for this week. So what can we see? We can see that okay, there was a breakout from the zone. Our market ultimately break through this supply zone. So our next target. So now at this point, if you notice, there was a resistance at this point, and which it was broken and then a retest. So I'll just simply go ahead and mark this zone. This is our analysis is as simple as possible. The next 2 minutes, everything is simplified. We'll be done with the analysis. Right here. So this is a zone to watch out for now. This is a demand zone. The demand zone is a zone with a good consolidation before a breakout. This was a consolidation, and this was a breakout. This was a retest. So this is a good demand zone. So guys, we'll go further to just put our entry here. Maybe our SL will be at this level. Yeah, so at this level, then where will be our next target? So you can target here first TP, and then maybe you can target any of this area. And be very, very careful the way you're targeting it, because this can act as a resistance zone. So don't target the high, just target maybe this zone. So this is our trade setup for gold. So but before you take it, wait for some confirmation like this. I like to see a sweep, and I like to see a change of character, this, and then yeah. So this is gold, guys. So let's look at the next one, US 100. US 100 is always sharp. So this is US 100, guys. We were expecting the same reaction from this demand zone, but let's see what happened. During the week, we were observing this, and at this zone, you see, there was nothing like a sign of confirmation. So we were expecting something like this at this supply zone, but what happened, guys? Market never broke down. Market came, he balanced there with this support level, and then boom, it just broke out from this supply zone. So this trade was inactivated. This trade was not taken because the confirmation were not met. You see, that is one thing, waiting for good confirmation entry. You know what, maybe very soon I'll give us a working system how we can just position to take trade in a particular week, based on the fact that when we do our weekly analysis like this, most times the trade we end up not taking most of the trade, but during the week there are opportunities we still see that we can take advantage of. So maybe next time in one of these video segment, we're going to do an analysis breakdown on how we can just approach the market on a daily perspective. Yeah, so this is US 100. What are we expecting? So what we just need to do is to mark out resistance and demand zone. That as simple as that. Then marking out resistance and demand zone, you mark out what we call you draw out your demand and supply zone as well. So looking at this, see, this was a range, this was a resistance zone, this was a good breakout. If you notice, market tanked for days. I remember on Thursday, market tanked here. There was no momentum until the close of the market and the open of the market. There was some fluctuation in the trading hours like that. Then when market opened on all these indices, there was a boom, there was a market gap here, then there was a breakout. So this is what we do. This is a supply zone within this range. So what again? This is a supply zone within this range. So if you notice now, supply zone. So now if you notice at this zone, what do we see? There's a breakout here. There's a breakout from this zone, from this level. So because of this breakout, what do we do? Simply we just mark out point out our support level first. When the resistance is broken, it becomes a support. So any of these points, we'll be waiting for a retracement at any of this level. Then we'll be considering a buy that will be targeting here first and maybe here ultimately. So let's say this will look like maybe a reaction like this. So mind you, please be very careful. Wait for confirmation. You don't want to just take this trade anyhow. Please wait for confirmation. So now this will be the first level target. Yeah, this will be the first level target, and then ultimately when you get another reaction, then you can target this part. All right, guys. So this is what we're looking out for. So if the market react at this point, there's a breakout, then maybe a little retest will take it to this point, and then to this point. But US 100 or S&P 500, they are correlated. There was an analysis breakdown I saw from research that they were looking at this level as a support, as a resistance zone, and also maybe ultimately this one. But now I can see that there's a breakout from this trend and also this level. So let's expect some good strength from this. Okay, so now let's look at the next one, EURUSD, without wasting much time. EURUSD. This is cash print for the week. So this is EURUSD, guys. So you can see the market last week. It was to some extent hectic. The directions were not clear. So one other thing that happened was that one other thing you should take notice is that when you see great momentum, so when you see any proceeding momentum, you see this momentum. This happened. This was on Wednesday. This happened to Friday. So when you see this kind of momentum and you see this other one the next week, and you see this other one, then it is wisdom for you to know that you need to be careful for any catch you'll be looking at. So let's look at this in perspective. Let's look at this. So this is the daily time frame. What happened at this point? We were looking at this level as a good TP level, and also this level as a good TP level. But ultimately the dollar was weak. Yes, the dollar was weak, and then market pulled into this our supply zone. But what happened? It reacted there, and I noted this as a breakout from this zone, and I waited for a retest here. Then I took this trade at this point, and this is how the setup looks like. I took this trade at this point. Our SR was somewhere and we were kicked out. Then this came back as if we wanted to continue the selling, but we did not consider taking it. So now this was a loss. So we had this as a loss and also gold as a loss. Sometimes your trading account will reflect normal losses, and as a normal losses is always part of the game. So when it comes, you accept it wholeheartedly and you modify. You look at what you did and what you are not supposed to do, and you just keep improving. So but now I can spot out another internal trend from this point. So I can see another trend. If you look at this from this point, you can mark this as a B2 resistance level. Right, so now what are we going to be expecting? If we get a breakout from this level, then we'll just wait ultimately for a retest to any of this zone. Then maybe by then this will be like a kind of demand zone. Then we take it up. This can be a target. This poison, liquidity resting here. This can be a target. But now please mind you, when you put your TP, don't put it at the stop. Right, don't put it at this top, because this zone can act as a resistance level. If you notice this now at this point, market reacted at this zone and it never broke down to this low. That is how I put my TP. I don't put it at the edge. See, if you notice this now, if you wanted to buy and put your TP at this point, market reacted at this zone. It was a supply zone anyway, and then what happened? It started sinking down. So sometimes just put your TP in a considerable form. So maybe after detecting the low being formed at this point, maybe you can target something. This even 1:5. Yeah, sometimes 1:5 is good. This trade can rightly play out, right? So this is what we are looking at in EURUSD. But ultimately, okay, we will use DXY to check some other confirmation. Let's look at GBPUSD. All right, GBPUSD. You see, so this is one thing about this analysis. If you notice, last week we were looking at this zone as our overall supply zone, but notice we were saying that okay, there was a kind of breakout from this zone. We're expecting a reaction from this supply zone, right? But if you notice now, market like this one was just brutal. Market broke through this point. It was on like on Wednesday or so. Market just broke through, retested, and boom, is pulling back. But now if you notice, market is heading towards this good supply zone. So we wait, guys. We wait for our confirmation. So after this, what do we want to see? We want to get a reaction like this. You know, there may be a breakout, a little retest, and boom, we'll take our trade back down. But on confirmation, so it is very important to watch out for the trend. So this is what we want to wait here now. This one has tapped first. We want to see another tapped in like this. They want to see a breakout like this from this level, then a retest, and then we'll take it to some considerable zone. So this is still effective, guys. Let's see how it goes. Yes, let's see how it goes. Because see, yes, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I never okay. Let me see if there's any trend to support this leg. Okay, don't mind the chart. Don't mind the chart. These are just levels. Okay, so this is what we are looking at in GU. But one of the things is that now when we are expecting market overall for the week to maybe start buying a supply zone or a demand zone, there's another approach we can use in catching the buys, that is a retracement to the supply or demand zone, and which we'll do that in subsequent video. Just use the information now and see as you can just work with the weekly analysis to craft some good setups as well. So we expect momentum to be next week. Okay, sorry, this week. Yeah, this week we expect some good momentum. So USDCHF, USDCHF did something. So let's look at it. This was a trade back from this point. The entry was from this point, this the demand zone. But now at this point, we were looking at this zone that okay, this is a kind of breakout. But now see what I was saying. This acted as a resistance zone. That's why I don't like putting my TP at the tip. No, I like putting it at good confidence level that I know that to some extent it can hold. So what happened at this point? This wave up, wave down, wave up back, and reacting at this point. So it is very, very important that you just pay attention to the candlestick formation at this point, because now if you look at this, you'll be seeing this as a kind of breakout right here. It looks like a kind of breakout retest to this, because I was just noticing this, and so for some reason the market was not clear. So what do? We just mark out our levels. Resistance, this is a trend line, this was a support we were looking at, support. So what do? We just wait for the market to react at good level. So one of the levels we should be looking at is this level, USDCHF. So this level, we need to wait for reaction at this level to see if this level is going to hold, right? Yes, to see if this level is going to hold. But one other trade setup that I think might be of good benefit is when the week open, this level is acting as a resistance level. So if we get any consolidating movement at this trend line, so let me adjust this. If maybe something like this happens, a tap here, and then we get a kind of breakout, then ultimately we'll be using this as a supply zone, and then we'll be targeting just fair zones, fair levels. Targeting fair levels, and it makes sense, right? Yeah, it makes sense. But just in case market breaks out from this trend, then ultimately this is holding as a good support level. This is a kind of pattern. Yeah, this is a kind of pattern. This is a kind of M pattern, right? Yes, this is a kind of M pattern, but we'll not force the pattern to happen. We'll just observe and see how it is going. This is first leg, second retracement, then M pattern. So let's see if market reacts at this zone is not able to break out, then it breaks this level, then we wait for retracement and then down. So guys, I think this is the last trade setup for this week to be washed out for. This is the last setup we will be looking at this week. So make sure you pay attention to details. Make sure you don't enforce trade. You wait for your setup. And then you execute without any form of hesitation or reservation. That is just how this game works. You will never be right all the times, but you will always have good winning trades as compared to that of losing. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found value in this. Please, you like, comment, and share. And also, if you have any comment, any kind of observation, you can do well to just state it in the comment section. We will be right there with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do have a fruitful week ahead, guys. Thank you very much. Peace out.
Thanks for watching till the end. Your time means a lot. If you found value here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs this. And when you're ready to grow with guidance, GBOSHE FX coaching is just one step away.